So there's one good question. Uh, Nitu Lama, could you tell how to concentrate on any work I do? Because I have a bad habit of daydreaming. Oh, okay. Mm, I think regarding the work, I don't think I can tell you anything about it. But regarding the work, it's more to do with your own personal matters and how you manage with your time and how you're not really getting burned out, and due to that and you're losing the interest to your own work and you're losing your own passion, so it can be like that, or either it can be a work that you didn't really like it but you have to do it anyway. So it can be either of these two. But to bring the state of the clarity in mind, I think it's very important that, in the morning, when you wake up, and I think, meditate with the Buddha statue, focus on the Buddha statue, make a prayer to the three jewels, and then make a prayer that I want to benefit all the sentient beings in the future, and with that in mind, and then you meditate and you tell yourself everything in this very moment is impermanence. Therefore, I'm really grateful to be here. And then, in that very moment, detach yourself from all the good ideas that you're having in that very moment, and try to detach yourself a little bit in a very gentle approach, and then try to, focus into the Buddha statue or the painting of the Buddha that you have, or if even you don't have, maybe you have a picture on your phone, like a wallpaper of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and you can just simply look at that and meditate and focus. And then if that is a little bit too much, and then you do a breathing exercise, when you breathe out, simply breathe out. Don't think about how much you are breathing out or whether you are breathing out too much or too less. Don't think about how you are breathing in too much or too less. And then just simply breathe out, focus your mind along with that. You don't need to think about where the mind is going. You don't have to think about where the air is going. You don't have to think about whether I'm dead or alive. Just simply focus on the breathing out. And then when you naturally breathe in and when you naturally breathe out, and then just simply focus into that breathing. You don't have to think of the breathing you don't have to think about the breathing like reaching somewhere or reaching down or reaching in the front. You can view your breathing practice a little bit like a bridge, bridge between the two mountains. Imagine if you are in the middle, little bit, few kilometers from the bridge, where you can simply witness the car moving from the left, car moving from the right, crossing the bridge, back and forth, and you are simply witnessing that from the third person perspective, from far away. So you don't have to think about where the car is going from the right to left or where the car is going from the left to right. You don't have to think about that. You just simply witness the car moving back and forth from the different direction. So just like that, when you are breathing, no need to think about where the breathing air went, how it went, where it went. Don't ask that question. Simply, be the witness to your own breath when you're breathing out, like you're witnessing the cars crossing the bridge here and there, and without any interest of whether it's going from the right side or left side. You're just simply witnessing all that movement, right? By the time if you stare on that bridge long enough, you will even lose the interest into looking into the colors of the car. You just simply an object moving left and right. So just like that, when you're breathing, first it may have a difficulty to establish yourself. So first you try to sit in the meditation posture if it's possible. If it's not, if you're in the subway or in a bus, and then of course keep your bag in the front of you. Make sure that nobody steals that, and then you relax your mind a little bit, and then when you breathe out, and then simply witness the very sensation of the breath. Don't think about where it went or how it went. Abandon this too. Okay? And when you breathe in, Simply witness, through your mind while you breathe in. Don't think about where particular spot it went, how it went. Avoid this thought. So if you have these thoughts, such as where it's going or where does it dissolve to, then simply witness to that. Simply see that projection of thought, and then let it be by itself. Imagine there's a bridge crossing the car, so you lose the interest into looking into the colors of the cars. All the cars simply become a movement of different object of different size, between the two mountains. Now imagine if there's a deers and the tigers or the bears coming from the side edge of the mountain and simply gazing onto the landscape, and then themselves with no interest of eating, with no fear of predator, and then they themselves going into the forest, right? So just like that, seeing some animals, coming on the edge of the mountain and on the either side, and then seeing them going back to the forest, and then you also simply witnessing the busy thought, just like that. First you focus into the bridge, then you see the cars in the beginning, a little bit more rigid in the beginning. Then you lose the interest into the colors of the cars. You simply see the object moving. And then sometimes, a little bit later, there may be some interesting objects popping up, such as beautiful eagle, beautiful animals like a deers or tigers or leopard, all the different kind of small, medium animals that appears from the forest, gazing a little bit and then going back to the forest, and then you simply witnessing that with no fear and no desire, no fear of reaching there, and not fear of running away, and not having desire to catching them or hurting them, so having that kind of attitude. So when you are breathing out and breathing in, avoid the two error, and that is where it went, how it went. Stop that question. Simply witness when you're breathing out and when you're breathing in. That's number one. Number two, when you see interesting objects in your mind, simply gaze to all the interesting objects that is appearing in your mind, or the example that I have shown you, and then simply gaze upon that. Don't look after that, don't run after that, and then simply resume with your breathing continuity of the breathing state. And then that interesting object that appeared to be interesting few seconds ago will have no longer interest, so having that continuity of mindset, and then gradually, I think, some form of clarity in mind and how we view our life, and how how you want to use your day, and what you want to do with your life. Maybe some positive mindset will come eventually. So that's that.